love AOC. People love Jasmine Crockett. People love Eric Swalwell and the like. And I think that the Democratic Party should put the people out there who the people want. They should put the politicians out there who the people want, who they're asking for, who are meeting the moment with the same energy that
they're not asking for AOC.
Yes, they are.
The people you party with
No. The people I party with don't like AOC.
Oh, please.
No, they don't at all.
Well, most people don't.
But
she's
AOC,
very far left.
Let me tell you why I'm saying that.
AOC is scrambling for cover after Bill Maher tore apart her anti-American rhetoric live on TV. The takedown was brutal, raw, and unforgiving, sparking massive backlash for the Congresswoman. Let's be honest, AOC brought this on herself. Woke crusade and toxic narratives have spiraled out of control. I've got every explosive clip right here. Before we dive into the chaos, smash that subscribe button. You won't want to miss moments like this.
Favorite interviews was when AOC was talking to that lady and she asked her to expand.
About Israel-Palestine?
Oh my God.
Well, I believe absolutely in Israel's right to exist.
She just collapsed into herself?
It's literally like a fifth grader that didn't study.
Look at that incident more through just as an incident.
And then they ask you about the subject, or you didn't read the book. Well, you know, it's about Billy and his dog.
What people are starting to see, at least in the occupation of Palestine, is...
But the crazy thing about that interview is that so her first comment comes off with like total authority.
I am a proponent of a two-state solution.
One little follow-up question. Question's like, well, what do you mean by that? And then you just see her get weaker and weaker.
You use the term the occupation of Palestine. What did you mean by that?
But what do you mean about that? It's like, I don't know what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah.
And she literally goes, I'm really not the expert.
Do you think you can expand on that?
I am not the expert on geopolitics on this issue.
She just gave up.
Ever since Bill Maher exposed Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as a political fraud, the panic has been clear. AOC, once seen as the progressive firebrand with all the answers, now can't seem to respond to even basic questions on the issues she claims to champion. Whether it's economics, immigration, or climate policy, her answers have gone from evasive to downright incoherent, and critics are pouncing. From the left, the right, and everyone in between, the backlash is growing. Even Joe Rogan has joined in, supporting Maher's harsh assessment and going as far as to say AOC is no better than Kamala Harris, another media creation, with more slogans than substance. What once seemed like fearless conviction now looks like shallow performance. The more she speaks, the clearer it becomes. The emperor has no clothes. AOC's image is unraveling, and the mask is slipping fast. Check out the next clip on AOC's panic, and I'll be right back.
AOC, here she is.
And I think if you actually do see some of the photos of the signs, I think there's something to be said about the government's about to shut down. There's a vote clock that's going down. The exits that are normally open in that building were suddenly closed.
Suddenly.
Pull the fire alarm?
So what I'm here to say is that
What I'm
House
here to say
Administration and U.S. Capitol Police and Jamal Bowman are an active, and he's fully participating and saying there was a misunderstanding. But what I do think is
hold on. He's active and fully participating in saying that there was a misunderstanding. He was actively.
That is not our language.
No, he was.
What language is that? She is delightfully stupid. I know people don't like her. I understand that.
Right.
But I just find her just wonderful. She's so dumb.
And that right there is the panic in plain sight. Rambling answers filled with buzzwords that make no sense. It's like watching a word salad on fire. If you've been paying attention, you'll see this as AOC's go-to move. Anytime she's caught off guard or asked a question she hasn't rehearsed, she spirals into incoherent, jargon-filled nonsense that even her supporters can't follow. She throws out terms like systemic injustice, intersectionality, and marginalized communities like confetti, hoping that sounding intellectual will distract from the fact that she's saying nothing of substance. But people are starting to catch on. The theatrics don't land like they used to. Her once fiery persona is now being exposed for what it is. A carefully crafted image built more on social media clout than real policy knowledge. And when pressed, the cracks start to show. Loud doesn't mean right. Emotional doesn't mean effective. AOX is running out of places to hide.
C has called for the investigating and possible impeaching of members of the Supreme Court. Here's what she said.
I believe that we should be considering subpoenas. We should be considering investigations. There also must be impeachment on the table, and the Supreme Court has not been receiving the adequate oversight necessary in order to preserve their own legitimacy.
Where in the Constitution do you find oversight? One branch is the watchdog of the other branch? I don't think so. That's not the way it works.
A lot of people don't like AOC, but I really do love the earnestness of her stupidity. Like, there's something really charming about how hard she's trying. It's like watching your 14-year-old give a speech about something they don't really fully understand. It's like, it's kind of cute. It's adorable in a very, society-destroying sort of way.
This is exactly what I've been saying for weeks, and it's what Bill Maher is now boldly trying to make everyone see. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez isn't nearly as sharp or principled as the media makes her out to be. For someone who claims to fight for the working class, she has a curious habit of showing up at elite red carpet events thrown by the very same oligarchs she supposedly opposes. You can't wear designer gowns to gala fundraisers and then preach about income inequality. With a straight face, that's not activism, that's performance. So when her name started floating around as a potential replacement for Kamala Harris, many of us raised an eyebrow, and rightly so. We saw through the illusion. AOC may be loud, but she lacks depth. She may tweet well, but she crumbles under real scrutiny. If this is the future of the Democratic Party, they've got bigger problems than they realize. And this all started because of Bill Maher's criticism of AOC. People love AOC.
Love AOC. People love Jasmine Crockett. People love Eric Swalwell and the like. And I think that the Democratic Party should put the people out there who the people want. They should put the politicians out there who the people want, who they're asking for, who are meeting the moment with the same energy that
they're not asking for AOC.
Yes, they are.
The people you party with
No. The people I party with don't like AOC.
Oh, please.
No, they don't at all.
Well, most people don't.
But
she's
AOC,
very far left.
Let me tell you why I'm saying that.
Wait a minute. It looks like even AOC's own supporters are panicking and shifting the goalposts faster than the speed of light. One moment, Don Lemon confidently claims that people want AOC to lead. But then, when Bill Maher calmly points out that nobody actually likes AOC outside of Lemon's social circle, Don suddenly backpedals and insists that even the people he parties with don't like her. Now, if that isn't pure panic and confusion, I don't know what is. It's like watching someone try to bail water out of a sinking ship with a spoon. I'm honestly not surprised. Defending the idea of an AOC presidential ticket is like trying to sell sand in the desert. It's a tough, almost impossible job. And for Don Lemon, who's been flailing for relevance ever since his CNN exit, this attempt to prop her up only further exposes the desperation.
Because people will vote for AOC and Donald Trump on the same ticket. Because they're authentic. No, because they're authentic.
I don't think that Don.
I think you're wrong about that.
What people like about people like Trump and Fetterman is because it's irrelevant to her life.
But you don't know her life.
I know that being a gorgeous woman who I wouldn't even know was Hispanic in a city that has 1 million Hispanics and does not treat them badly.
But that doesn't mean she doesn't struggle. That doesn't mean that she was set down.
It implies it.
But that doesn't mean that she was set down in Hispanic ghetto in the Bronx and had to deal with that growing up, and that she's come from a working class family.
It implies it implies that in some way she's behind the 8 ball because of that, and it's just not.
Don't be deceived. AOC may have some people fooled, but not Bill Maher. He sees right through the carefully crafted narrative. Maher has publicly questioned the authenticity of her so-called working class origin story, and he's right to do so. Contrary to the image she tries to sell, AOC didn't exactly grow up in the gritty, impoverished neighborhoods she references in her speeches. Her father was relatively well off, and she had access to opportunities and education that many truly struggling Americans never get. Then came the most absurd comparison of the night. Don Lemon trying to equate AOC's authenticity with Donald Trump's. Really, these two couldn't be more different. Say what you will about Trump, but his brand of authenticity, loud, unfiltered, and unapologetic, isn't something you can fake. AOC's version, on the other hand, feels more like a marketing campaign than a genuine identity. It's all optics and very little substance. Anyway, Mark continues his expose.
And so
I don't know if she's behind the 8 ball, but I don't think she's as privileged as many people who are in Congress right now.
Is that privileged or not? She was a bartonder.
Yeah.
So I was a delivery boy.
But I'm saying sometimes, Bill, you don't agree with Donald Trump's policies.
No.
But that's what the people want.
Some of them.
Whether you like her or not, I don't like what she did with Amazon in New York. but I think AOC she's a Democratic icon.
Well,
People
she's
love
the
her.
wrong. If you think that's the direction the country should, the Democratic.
I'm not saying the policies that she espouses that's the
Don?
direction, but I'm saying that you have to give the people who are out front speaking for the party, not the people who are.
If you think
she's evolving,
yeah, she's evolving,
and
as we all are,
and she is moving into
right.
She understands the game a little bit more, and if you notice, she is sort of becoming a sort of normal kind of Democrat in many ways.
Yes.
I think she's evolving.
Okay, great.
It's a very smart tactic, and she's very smart.
Let's get behind.
Sometimes, I genuinely struggle to understand what point Don Lemon is even trying to make. Is he really arguing that the public should just be handed whatever leader they ask for? No matter how dangerous, unqualified, or misguided the choice may be. By that logic, if the people suddenly wanted Hitler back, should we just roll with it? That kind of thinking isn't just irresponsible, it's terrifying. Honestly, it says a lot about the current mindset of the Democratic Party. This blind, desperate need to pander to every whim of the crowd, no matter how radical or uninformed, is exactly why their moral compass seems so broken. It's no longer about principles, it's about popularity. That's how you end up with party figures sympathizing with or even supporting terrorist groups over a democratic ally like Israel. It's not leadership. It's cowardice, wrapped in populist packaging, and Lemon is the perfect spokesperson for that confusion.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, Madam Ranking Member. Here we are today, Republicans who have voted consistently against the Violence Against Women Act, who have taken away the right of all women to choose and have control over their own body, who, as women, are bleeding out in parking lots across the country, standing there, allowing us to die, now want to pretend today that they care about women. And why? To open up gender and, yes, genital examinations into little girls in this country in the so-called name of attacking trans girls. And to that, today, what we have to say are two words: not today.
I honestly got a migraine just watching that clip. How in the world does banning biological males from competing in women's sports equate to inspecting the genitals of young girls? That kind of logic isn't just absurd, it's deliberately inflammatory. AOC seems to be reaching, clawing for relevance, desperately trying to stay in the political spotlight by saying the most outrageous things she can think of. Let's be clear, no one is advocating for some bizarre inspection regime. The debate is about fairness and protecting the integrity of women's sports, not violating anyone's privacy. Do we subject other athletes to genital inspections before classifying them as male or female? Of course not, because that's not how it's done. And AOC knows it, but she doesn't care about truth, only headlines. Her comments aren't rooted in facts or concern for young girls. They're political theater, and beneath the drama, there's nothing of substance. AOC is once again all soundbite and no depth.
You know who loves this bill? Yes, bigoted folks love this bill. Assaulters love this bill. But also, CEOs love this bill. Because Los Angeles is on fire right now. And this is the #1 priority this majority has. Thank you, and I yield back.
AOC labels anyone who rallies against the destruction of women's sports as bigoted, not because they are, but because she has an ongoing disdain for traditional American values. It's that simple. She doesn't defend fairness. She attacks it. In her world, protecting the integrity of women's sports is somehow hateful, while allowing biological males to dominate female athletes is inclusive. Now, if you muted the audio and just watched her facial expressions, you might be fooled into thinking she's delivering a profound, reasoned argument. Her brows furrow, her hands move emphatically. She's clearly performing. But the moment you actually listen to her words, you can't help but bury your face in your hands out of secondhand embarrassment. It's like watching someone passionately argue about a topic they clearly don't understand, but refuse to admit it. AOC thrives on emotional theatrics, not intellectual substance. And the more she talks, the clearer that becomes. In the end, AOC's facade is crumbling. Her arguments are shallow, her theatrics transparent, and her supporters, like Don Lemon, are scrambling to keep the illusion alive, whether it's twisting basic debates into outrageous accusations or rewriting her own background. She's built a political brand on performance, not principle. Bill Maher simply pulled back the curtain, and now the panic is obvious. The more she speaks, the clearer it becomes. AOC isn't the future. She's the distraction from it, and that draws the curtains on today's video. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.